Ignite to impact.
Hey there. Are you sometimes unsure about what to do next with your dreams and how to pursue your goals? Well, today I want to talk about a powerful tool called visualization and how it can help you reach your goals. I'm Dr. Geneva, and welcome to Ignite to Impact. I'm just so glad you're here. Happy New Year. I hope things are going well for you and yours. Now, this visualization thing, it reminds me of the time a couple of years ago when I was persuaded to enter a beauty pageant. It was for women over 50. It was called the Fit and Fine Beauty Pageant Contest. And I agreed to it for really two reasons. One, because I had never done anything like that before, and I thought it might be fun. But the real reason that I did it was because it was about stepping out of my comfort zone. And I was really in a deep funk. I had just lost my husband. I didn't know where I was going. My life, was crazy, turned around. Everything seemed dark. And, what's my purpose? What am I going to do? And I knew one of the ways to try to get out of a funk was to step out of the comfort zone. So I did. But you know what? I was really scared. I was really, and then I go to the first meeting and I see everybody there is, 10, 15, almost 20 years younger than me. And all of them wearing certainly smaller sizes than me because I would be in the full figure fabulous category. And so it got me really nervous and I really didn't know what to do. And I remembered this technique about visualizing. So, I started doing that. I started thinking about and imagining what it would be if I won. But then even more, I began thinking about what I would do if I won and would be able to go around the state talking to women about aging vibrantly, because that was the whole purpose of the pageant. That is highlighting, recognizing women who were 50 and over and who were living a vibrant life, who were aging gracefully. And so I started visualizing, talking to hundreds and thousands of women about the ways we can continue to live our lives to the fullest. And so, and I use that technique to visualize my way into winning the pageant. Yes. But what the lessons that I learned, two things. One, that everything that you wish for, you hope for, you want to get really is inside of you. It really is about that inner game, what's going on inside. And then the second thing I learned was the real benefit of the technique called visualization. So I wanted to spend some time here again in the beginning of the year talking about that and the importance of it, what it is, and some strategies and ways that you can use visualization to help you reach your goals. So let's get to it. So I've got my trusty. Now y'all need to know I'm a frustrated school teacher. So I had wanted to, when I first, all during growing up, I wanted to either be a lawyer or a school teacher. And my career path changed, but I still like to pick up that marker and turn to some paper, over here to talk about some things. So that's what I'm going to do today. So first of all, visualization. What is it? And you know, we think about visualization, and it really is a technique to see what you want, to see what you want through the power of imagination. So when we think about visualization, I want you to think also about imagination. Okay, because that's an important part of visualization, because that's what you're doing. It's like a rehearsal, and you really are thinking through your mind. You're rehearsing what it is that you want to accomplish, that you want to see happen. And it's what you wish to achieve really in the future. And so you're thinking about something that's not happening right this moment, but really is happening in front of you in the future. So it's something that it's a technique that uses your imagination to let you see what you want to achieve in the future, a rehearsal, a mental rehearsal. And one of the things that I love about visualization is that you can use it every day. Yeah. So what do I mean that you can use it every day? So you can use it to figure out or to think about how you're going to go in and start your new job. You know, first day on the job. So you may want to think that through and mentally rehearse. You can use it to, you know, maybe you're making a speech. So you can kind of think through how you'd make that presentation. You can also use visualization for long-term planning. That is, you know, where do I want to be in a year? And how do I, you know, put together my goals in order to do that? Now, the one thing about visualization and the mind, it can go in at least two directions. Some people say it can go in a whole lot of directions. But sometimes, and too often, when we use visualization, when we're imagining, we let our mind run away and we go down that negative trail. You know, and so I ain't talking about, you know, thinking the negative in this. I am talking, this conversation today is about positive visualization. Okay. So I know again that too often we might go through the worst case scenarios many times, but I'm talking about the use of positive visualization. Okay. So you may say to me, well, Dr. Geneva, why are we talking about this? You know, why is it important? Well, first of all, it's important because, you know, we can see change. We can see the change we want. Now, when you're doing goals and you're crafting and thinking and writing them and being specific about them and measurable, at the end of the day, any goal is about change, right? Because you've established something that you want to be better at or you want to do more of. So that's a change because it's a difference from, you know, between where you are and where you want to be. So that's change. And one of the things that visualization allows you to do and why it's important, it allows you to see that change because you're imagining what it would be like. If you use it right, you're imagining what it would be like if you, in fact, had that change. So it really allows us to see the change. And in doing that, it allows us to activate our potential. So we imagine it, we see it, and then we can think about, well, what to do. So it activates, it propels us towards action. And that's so, so important in setting goals and keeping with them. The other is, and this is the one that I like a lot, stimulates. It stimulates the creative process. It really does. So you've seen it, again, you might want to become a published author. And so in your mind, your imagination is there. You're seeing yourself, with maybe at your book signing. And there are hundreds of people lined up ready to sign your book. And so your vision, you're seeing that future. You're looking at it. And when you see it, you say, oh, yeah, I want this. And it's very motivating, and it, propels you to work harder to get it, because you can see it. You see what it is that you need to do. And, it becomes closer. It becomes, real. And it also kind of lays out for you things that you might not have thought to do before. So if you want to become like this author, and have this book signing, and you see it in your mind, you may not have thought about, well, I need to write this book for a particular audience, or it's very important, my message. Who do I want to get my message to? So it might, because you're visualizing the people that you want to have lined up and would really, like your book and profit from learning from your book, it maybe, triggers some things for you to do that perhaps you hadn't thought about before. We also know that particularly when you do positive future focused thinking, that you train your brain into feeling better, and to so feel better, because you're imagining the positive. Okay, so you're feeling better, and then often that means better. Can you all still see? I'll go to another page. Better outcomes. Okay, so it's important, this whole visualization process, to be able to see, you feel better just by doing it, because you're thinking good thoughts. Okay, and so you're feeling better, and this allows you to also, research does show that the feeling better and the better outcomes is a possibility through this process of visualization. And the other piece about it is that it also allows you to, it gives you the space to put your dreams into tangible outcomes. That dreaming is good. I'm all for that imagination, and them dreams is real good. But you got to put action to it. And that's what your goals do. That's what your goals do. And so you can actually see some real tangible outcomes when you're visualizing. So, okay. So we've reviewed, what visualization is. It allows you to see the future. It's a technique. It's a powerful technique using imagination, your imagination, the power of your imagination. It lets you see your goals, what you want to achieve. It's future focused. You can use it all the time, and you can use it for, not good things, that negative thinking, which we ain't talking about. Don't want you to do that. Or you can use it for the positive, and that is what we're talking about. And it's important because it allows you to see the change you want, activate your action, get you motivated, feel better, get better outcomes, stimulates that creative process. And so that's what it is and why it's important. So, I want to leave you with some strategies, tips, and ways to, actually activate this positive visualization, and how it connects to goals and how you can use it. So the first strategy or tip I want to give you, let me get another color here. Okay, let's do red. Okay. So do I need to put this over? You all can see this. Okay. So the first is what I like to call work backward. Okay. So, or reverse engineer. So when you're using your imagination to think in the future, you get this picture and you're mentally rehearsing and you're seeing it. And then you use the technique of uh, working backward from what you're seeing. So, in other words, let's go back to that published author dream. And so you're visualizing um, that opportunity there. And you say, okay, so that's what it looks like when I'm having hundreds of people standing in the line and they're getting my book is getting signed. Okay, then what do I need to do? Stepping backwards, what do I need to do to get to that point? Okay, so visual this when you're visualizing, it gives, and you apply this working backward technique, it allows your visualization to actually, have something for you, give you something really useful to use. And again, it's working backwards. You see the end in mind, you work backwards. Stephen Covey and so many others talk about this process of seeing the end, working back, figuring out what you have to do to get there. But it starts with visualization. Okay. So as you're working back and creating it, you are creating your goals, but it starts with visualization. Another way to do good visualization to reach your goals is to do reframing. Now, the reframe comes in, why I want to talk about reframing in the same conversation with visualization is that it allows you to see things in a different light. And this way of reframing how one way you think of something to another way allows you to, again, get into this positive visualization. So let me give you some examples. So so instead of thinking, what if it all goes wrong? You would think, my fear of something does not make it true. Instead of thinking, this is such a bad day, think, yeah, this day sucks, so I'm going to be extra kind to myself. Instead of thinking, I don't know why I feel so sad today, think, it's okay to not be okay. This too will pass, so I'm going to take care of myself. So this process of, instead of thinking the negative or the down or won't work or what have you, reframe, shift your thinking, see it in a different light. And that's what, again, visualization will let you do as you go through this process. So if you start, thinking about things and it kind of goes over into the negative, stop and shift your thinking, reframe. So again, this concept of reframing is very important when we talk about visualization. I then want to suggest to you that you get what I call triggers to remind yourself of your imagination, the things you imagine, the things you visualize. So this is where vision boards come in. They're very helpful because once you've visualized, your dream, where you want to go, your future, what you want to achieve, that you have a vision board as a trigger to remind you of that. Cards. I used to take note cards and write one word on these note cards and kind of put them at different places that would remind me of some of my thoughts, some of the things I wanted to do. It would trigger the memories, the thoughts, my imagination about what I had visualized and how I could visualize something very successful. So these trigger points come in, very well. Journaling is another, fantastic trigger that you can use as you're using, as you're visualizing, because you can actually write down and see it and then reread it. I just finished another article, a published article in AARP Sister Magazine. Go check it out. Yes. And this is my second article, so I'm really very happy about it. But in both articles, I talk about the value and benefit of journaling. And journaling has a lot of benefits. This is one. It can serve as a trigger for you to, again, use your imagination, see what you visualize. You can actually write it down, what you visualize, what you've imagined, how successful it has been, and then you read it and you reread it and you reread it. So this whole idea of using triggers to help stimulate your remembering what you've visualized, and all of that success is a very important concept as well in all of this. Hey, Kiera, how are you? Oh, yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for the congrats. Yes, on my AARP article. I love it, love it, love it. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And so, okay, so we've talked about working backwards or reverse engineering, reframing, triggers. I also want you to lean in as you're doing your visualization, challenge yourself. Don't take no. Just keep challenging, lean over. It's very important to develop a growth mindset as you go through this process of visualization. And so, I just, if you want to, again, get into a little deeper in this whole process of using the growth mindset and how visualization can help you with your goals and shifting mindsets. It's one of the strategies in my ebook on creating the next you. So you should pick that up. If you don't, well, of course, you got it by now, don't you? I'm sure you do. But if you haven't, you can go to my website, drgenevaspeaks.com, and get your gift, Creating Your Next You. And I get into, I go deep in this visualization thing, and particularly also talk about shifting, the reframing, and also the aspect of leaning in with your mindset shifts that are important. Oh, how you doing? Okay, so Leah has joined us, and she has one word triggers all over her workplace. Yes, to snap back into more focused and positive thinking. Absolutely. I'm so glad you mentioned that, Leah, because again, this is one of the powers of visualization, that you can use it every day. So as Leah talked about, she uses it every day. She sees it and you can put it, and that's why I love it. Peggy, soror. How are you, my soror? Thank you so much for joining. Peggy Brown, one of the best there is, one of my besties. I appreciate you so much, Peggy, for being there. And Peggy and I, we headed up the leadership development committee. Well, she headed it up. I helped her. She was the leader. I was just there following her lead. But we worked in our chapter on the leadership development committee, and this whole idea about being successful, visualizing, seeing yourself, in all kinds of positive ways, giving back service. This was just, part of the whole piece. So, okay, so I got a couple more. Hang with me. Hang with me. If you're enjoying this content and value, please, let me know that in the comments. Let me know what else we need to be talking about. Do you like this style that I'm using? I'm going to the board, is it helpful or what have you? Thank you, Kiara. Kiara says it's something that she definitely needs to do. Appreciate that. Okay, just a couple other tips and strategies I want to give you. I want to talk about the 3 good things. Exercise. Now, this is an exercise, and what you do, it's a simple one. Oh, hey, Vinny. Oh, my goodness. Hi, Vinny. Let me tell you, Vinny and I, we just spent 4 months together working it hard. Vinny and I were in the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program. We graduated, together, and we clicked. We hit it off just like that. Vinny owns, if you have a niece, a daughter, a granddaughter, a sister who's planning to get married, Vinny's bridal. Now, Vinny, I'm going to ask you to, if you can, put the name, address, please, of your bridal boutique in the comments. Listen, this place to go. She offers personalized, customized service. She's just phenomenal. We just hit it off. I love you, my sister. So the 3 good things: exercise. So before you go to bed at night, just try it for a week. Before you go to bed at night, think of 3 good things that happened to you. I know you're going to find at least 3. I ain't asking for 5. I ain't telling you to do just 1. I'm saying 3 good things, and write them down. Why do we do this exercise? Well, first of all, of course, it helps us be grateful. Okay. But it also stimulates, it starts to train the mind, the brain, to thinking positive. Okay. So think about it. If you, for a week, 15 minutes take every day, write down 3 good things every night before you go to bed, you're going to begin to train your mind to look for the positive. Now, maybe not all the time be looking for positive things. I ain't saying that, but more times than you are now. That's what I am talking about. So the 3 good things, exercise, simple thing, just try it. Let me know how it works for you. Just try it. Then I want you to try the best possible future exercise. And, this exercise is similar. You may have done some of this when you're creating your vision, and watch my videos on creating your best, most compelling vision on my YouTube channel that I did for AARP. I've done it on our conversations here. And, I do a lot of conversation about creating vision. And so this whole thing about best possible future, well, you're saying, Dr. G, you always talk about that creative. No, I'm talking about something you can do every day. I'm talking about something that you can, or at least once a week, that you can really, oh, yes. There you go, Vinny. Thank you. Ashley and Alexandria's. That's what it's named after, her daughter's bridal boutique. Please, again, if you have a sister, niece, daughter, granddaughter getting married, you need to check out Vinny's shop. Thank you, Peggy Brown. This is dynamic. So I was talking, so this is an exercise. So this is an exercise you can do for 15 minutes. So this is a little different than sitting and, doing your visioning for your year or the annual. No, this is something that you can do. And you just think about the best possible future. And don't get negative. Just spend 15 minutes thinking about, hey, what's my best future? And then as you thinking, here's what I want you to do. That's right. Imagine yourself winning. Okay. And then when you do it, I want you to write it in this I Love Myself journal, because there's plenty of place for you. As you can see, vision board here, self-improvements. There are plenty of places. Always remember, these are the reasons that you love yourself, etc. So you can write it in this I Love Myself journal. Go to Amazon. I developed this with you in mind. I really did. Really, you and me in mind. So I poured me into it for you. And so I Love Myself journal. Please go get that. But anyway, best possible future and exercise. Do it as an exercise. Okay. And then I want to visualize success. Now you might say, well, isn't this all the same thing? Oh, you found that. Oh my gosh. Tisha's something else back there. Oh my gosh. So you remember me starting off this conversation about using visualization as this technique to achieve something that I said I would never, ever be able to do. And so that was me in my head. And, oh, wow. Now, listen, my son has joined me. Now, you see, when you talk about raising someone right. Now, see, this is what my son says. Good morning, Mom. Visualization is the secret ingredient to attracting what you want in life. Love this. Now, please tell me, don't he make my heart throb. Oh my gosh. Thank you, my son, for saying that. So this last piece I want to leave you with, visualize success. So again, you may say to me, but haven't we been, this is the whole thing. No, we've been talking about. No, this is a little different angle on it. All of these things are related, but this is a little different twist so that you have a portfolio, a menu of things to choose from. You don't have to do everything, just pick one thing. So this visualize success, what I'm talking about with this one, and as we're closing, and again, if you like this content, please let me know. Again, creating the next you is a gift for you. You go to my website. I go really deep into this and 14 other strategies to create the next you, make that your life fulfilling. But this visualize success one, this is where you really focus on the details, okay, of what it is that you want. So let's say you're making, and so I use this for when I have to give a speech, or particularly a presentation before a huge audience. One of the things I first do is I reframe my thinking, because I say to myself, oh God, I'm scared. I'm, nervous. I'm afraid. I switch that to say, I'm excited. Okay. So first of all, I reframe. And then, thank you, Leah. Thank you. And then I start to visualize the details. I see what I'm going to wear. I see myself arriving. I see myself walking into the room, standing straight with an erect posture. I see myself smiling, going to the podium. I see what the lighting looks like. I can see what the podium is. I see where I'm going to put my speech. I see how I'm going to respond to questions. I literally go through the details. Okay. And again, this visualization thing, you can do this every day with things that you're facing, but I see, so this visualizing success one is where you apply the details of a situation. You see all of it and you imagine yourself and you rehearse mentally yourself to be the best you can be. So you don't see yourself walking into a room like this. No, you see yourself standing up and smiling and the crowd roaring or whatever it is that you want. But you can apply it to anything, going into a meeting, facing, perhaps a difficult conversation with a loved one. Again, you can use this, because if you're going to have that difficult conversation, I'm sure one of the things you want to do is you want to, on the end of it, you probably want to come out of it okay. So you want to visualize coming out of it successfully, coming out of it okay, coming out of it feeling good, whatever it is. So you want to visualize. I'm sure you don't want to visualize fighting or, throwing things away or walking out. You don't want to visualize that. You want to visualize the positive things. And as you're doing that, you're going to see the details of it and you mentally rehearse it. So that's the visualizing success technique. And that's the one I wanted to leave you with. So this is one of my favorite topics. Again, I write about it in my Creating the Next You. So if you have not gotten that free gift, please go over to drgenevaspeaks.com. Get it. If you're not a part of my Extraordinary Women Influencers group, where we talk about these things and all things, extraordinary that women do, and to help each of us be the best that we can be, be that, raise our, children that way and everything. So I love you. Thank you everyone for joining. I hope you liked today's conversation. Love all of you. See you next time. Be vibrant.
Ignite